Hey, what's going on? Hey, get ready to check out this episode. We're going to be still talking again about middle class mindset. Hey, this is 9 to 5 Wealth with your host, Starsky the Berry. Hey, let's get into this lesson. Hey, welcome to another episode. My name is Starsky the Berry. Hey, today we're talking about middle class mindset. Hey, these episodes are here to inspire you to see your value and stick to your plan. You need to understand we got it going on in the middle class. I'm not saying that we need to stay here forever. I'm not saying that rich people are bad and all this type of thing. That's not the concept of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's easier for you to get to where you're going when you stick to you know your plan and you stick to your plan. It's easier to get there. It's a more secure way. So we're talking about the middle class mindset. And you saw in the last episode, I was talking about the fundamentals of it because I'm trying to build a narrative around the middle class mindset that helps us get back to the things that got us where we are and to hold on to the things that matter most, because once you get success, you're going to need your loved ones and need the real people around you so that you can enjoy the things that you have, so you can build a well-rounded life no matter what the season is. Because in hard times, you need people, you need, so I don't want to get too sensitive. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about the speed of middle class, because you need to understand middle class is not just about a certain dollar amount, because you got people are saying low middle class and middle and upper middle class, all this type of stuff. It's like, listen, middle class mindset is not about a dollar amount. It's about a certain ingredients of things that makes this particular class what it is. And I'll go later on in deeper things, but right now we're just building dialogue. We're just building relationship. We're talking about the speed of the middle class. Middle class has a certain speed to it. It's a certain kind of thing that we do, a certain vibe, a certain flow that we do on the middle class that is not always highlighted, because people want you to zip through the town called middle class up to whatever the rich or the upper class or affluent class. They want you to speed up, to hurry up and be one of them. And none of us are sitting back, none of us are taking the time to think, why do I really want what you have when I'm actually happy with the truck, the tractor, the station wagon that I got? I still like minivans, but that's just me. Okay. Back to the lesson. Before I start talking about the speed of the middle class, I got to go through the other classes so you can see and hear why, basically to validate why I'm saying what I'm saying. This is where I got my opinion from. This is based upon my own reasonings. But I want to talk through the other classes also to help you to really see where I got this concept of this idea from. All right. Okay. Before I get into it, hey, like, subscribe. Hey, meet me down in the comments. Hey, let me know if what I'm saying is spot on, or if I'm far off, or how can I do, or what can I do to improve my channel. Like I said, I'm not doing this necessarily for that. I like making friends, but hey, your input will help me get better. And that's all I'm trying to do. So when I'm asking you to go in the comments, I'm asking you to give me the dialogue that actually helps me get better. Thank you. Okay. So the first speed that we need to talk about before we talk about the middle class speed, because middle class has a flow, baby, has a flow. Okay, we want to talk about the poverty class, because there are people on the poverty class, and the narrative is always talking as if middle class and poverty class are basically together, and that's not true. That's not true. We have many homeless people and different people who are in dire situations in our communities that's not on your job. They may be walking outside your job and you may see them on the streets at night and different things like that, but they're not working a conventional job. It's like, how are you going to compare them to us mindset, middle class people, when we're getting up every day and we're doing the things that we're supposed to do to maintain the lifestyle that we have, we actually have a residence that we go to, so we're not necessarily on that level. I'm not down in that levels. You never know what has happened in a person's life to get them there. So this is not a judgment call. This is just observation. The poverty class is what I like to describe as creatively slow class. This is the class where it's mostly a dependent class. It's mostly you have very, very, very few options in in the ways that actually make life progress upward. You have very little options. This is the very creatively slow. Why do I call it creatively slow? Because the poverty level is the level where you have so much time to think, you have so much time to contemplate, you have so much time to do different things that your creativity, your ability to be creative in this particular facet, you have plenty of time to do it. Have you noticed when you look at people who are homeless or they're living what I call a off-grid kind of life? They are so inventive on how they gather things, on how they get food, on how they do different things. They're very creative because the speed of the poverty level, because they're going so slow, that they have plenty of time a lot of times to think about how they're going to do this or how they're going to do that, because they're moving slow. There's really no hustle and bustle about necessarily their level. Again, I'm not disrespecting. I'm just saying that I call them creatively slow. A lot of creativity, very little options, right? Okay, can you vibe with that? Okay, I'm gonna skip over middle class and I'm gonna come back to it because I really wanna hit on that point, because this whole teaching is about the middle class mind. So I wanna use that as my last point, if you don't mind. All right, we wanna skip over, we wanna talk about the rich class. The poverty level, you're creatively slow, right? The rich class or the affluent is a calculated run. Now, when you think about people who are rich, I'm looking at like your beginning millionaires, or let's say that people who are making $600,000 a year and up. The newly rich, kind of people. They have a calculated jog, I would say. They're not on autopilot because they're newly rich. No matter if you went to the NBA, NFL, don't matter if you got a big rap contract or whatever, you're calculated running because you are starting to really get ingrained on that level. So your run is calculated. Even though you have more options, you can buy this or buy that or go here or go there, and you got a lot more options than the poverty level, but you're still running. This is one of the things that is not said when it comes to people who are newly rich. If you look, Dr. Kiyosaki is, hope I'm not saying Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I apologize for mispronouncing your last name. But you look at him, he's always on social media. He's always on different things like this. Like, yeah, you're rich, but then you're still doing stuff. You're still going. You're still, you're talking about the subject matter that you're talking about, and many things I agree on, many things I kind of push back a little bit, because just my opinion. But it's like, hey, dude, you still running. If your life was really established where you wanted it to be established, do you really need to do another thing? But for him, it's not necessarily about the money. It's about disseminating the information that is in his heart that he wants to disseminate, but nevertheless, it got him going from here to there. You understand what I'm saying? He's not sitting at home drinking wine, you know, some sweet tea on the porch, you know. He's not that person. He's doing something, right? He's going to different shows. But it's calculated. He only goes to shows that helps to push his narrative forward. So it's a calculated run, and I'm just using him as an example. It's many of them, you know, that I can name, you know, that I see them all the time, and they be like, yeah, you know, I got it going on. I got my jet and all this stuff. But I'm like, yeah, just a simple fact that you have to tell me you got a jet lets me know that there is this initiative behind that, dude. You know, why can't you just have a jet in peace? You know what I mean? Why your jet got to become, you know, in my mind? You know what? Why are you planting those seeds in my mind like I want a jet? You know, it's like, no, dude, you could have just kept that thought to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I can already see you doing good without you even saying that. But hey, I digress, you know. But their run is calculated. Never be fooled, middle class people, that the people that are trying to get you to shift from here to there really got it going on like they say. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to be sober when you hear certain information. So the teaching that I'm teaching is helping you to siphon out things that is like it's okay information, but it's not pertinent to your plan. This teaching is about helping you to see your value and stick to your plan. That's all that I'm talking about. See your value, stick to your plan, not someone else's. All right, we want to go down beyond the rich now. There's a level called wealthy. Wealthy level. This is old money. This is people who've been having money for a long, long time. And see, there's a difference between newly rich and wealthy, because the wealthy, they'll be walking around like everybody else, and you will have no idea that these people are rolling like they rolling, man. I'm telling, because they're not calculated running like the newly rich. See, the newly rich gotta be on TV. They gotta have the new this. They gotta have the flashy this, because they're trying to push a narrative. Wealthy people are what I call strategically cruising. They're cruising. You only hear about them when somebody who is rich or somebody who is in that particular sector or group was invited to a function and this particular person was there, you know. But it's never a big announcement, oh, this person is going to be here. You find out when you get there that person was actually here. See, these are wealthy people. See, they don't move like any other class. They move differently. You know what I'm saying? They move different. They have a different type of flow. So when you're thinking about middle class, if you are a middle class person like me, truck driver, right? If you're trying to act like a person who's on a different class, you're gonna find yourself out of step, because you're trying to make middle class be rich class. You know, no ma'am, no sir. Middle class is middle class. Working a job every day, having a boss is what it is. It's not a good or bad thing. It's not a better or less than thing. It is what it is. So when I see somebody who has a private jet and you have a Bentley and you have all these things, you got the closet that I want, I mean, you got the suits that I want right now, you got that going on, I don't look at my life and think, oh man, it sucks being a truck driver. It's like, no, I made a conscious decision to be a truck driver because this is the class that I'm on. So the speed that I run is the speed that I'm supposed to run on my level. See, you got to see the value in you and stick to the plan, your plan. You see what I'm saying? So this narrative out, they try to get different classes, man. You know what? You need to be in this club. You need to be in this group. You need to be this right here. You need to be this person right here. It's like, see, now you're getting me to run at a pace that's outside of my class, that's outside of my faction, that's outside of this. And I may get there once, may there get there in the future, but I'm not gonna let you rush me now. Because the middle class mindset, one of the core fundamental things I talked about in a previous video is stability. It's like anything that's gonna throw you off, have you, you're running with one leg, you're just hopping down the street trying to get on Rich Street. It's like, no, I prefer to walk on two legs. I prefer to be stable. And I'm not gonna let your information throw me off trying to be like you, trying to speak like you. It's like, no, I speak like middle class man. That's how I'm supposed to speak. I speak saying that I have a boss, that I have things that people on the middle class level have. That's the language that I'm speaking right now, and I'm not going to be ashamed of that, and I'm not going to let anybody make me ashamed of that, because on this level, I have carved out a life for my family that's respectable. All right? We see our value, we stick to our plan. Let's get to the middle class. The middle class speed is so unique. Like I said, we are the driving engine, the backbone of any innovation, any business, any college, anything. We are the driving force. Somebody may have come up, had the money. Like you look at LeBron James, who came up with his own school. He has his own school. There's teachers in there, there's principals in there, there's janitors in there, there's landscape workers in there. Do you think LeBron James is cutting the grass? Is he cleaning out the toilets? Is he teaching the students? No. He is on a level where it would be odd and rude and weird for LeBron James to be doing any of that. That's not his role. The role is for us on the middle class. He has created an opportunity that gives us a job, that gives us an opportunity, that gives us a outlet to be able to be a part of a vision that's bigger than us, right? Exciting things, man. If we think about that in that way, you're teaching at a school that LeBron James started. Something that many people cannot say. Like I said, there's many other things. People working at Tesla, something that somebody else done started. You working at Amazon, something somebody else done started. I work for this trucking company, a pretty big box trucking company, that most people don't even necessarily get to do. I'm not the one that created the idea. They created the idea, set up the infrastructure, and now I'm allowed the option to be able to get the job when I get the right requirements for the job, right? So as it trickles down, I play the game on the class level that I'm on. What's so bad about that? See, it's not about how much money you make, no matter what class it is, except for the poverty. It's about how much you keep. Because when you get down to the wealthy class, old money, I'm talking about money longer than train smoke, old money. You know why it's old? Because they know how to keep it. They know how to stretch it past generations. That's what makes them so much different than a newly rich. Newly rich is not long money. It's not old money. It's fresh, new money. It's a person who made $10 million, but at the same time, there's a few decisions this person can make, and he can lose it all still. You come right on back down to the middle class or even to poverty, depending on what it is. And we've seen it happen out there, right? So we need to take every class for what it is, but whatever class you're on, other than poverty, you need to work with what you got, right? The middle class speed is what I call a strategic moderate to fast jog. walking or jog. It's like a moderate walk, right? And it could be like a fast jog. You're not full off running, but you know, in many levels, it's a pace to it, right? It's a marathon pace to it. You're not full on running, but you're not slow walking either, right? So the middle class is very unique because there are sometimes you need to be slow like a turtle, a tortoise, and sometimes you need to move like a rabbit or a hare, right? Depending on what decisions, you know, when you're trying to move from one job to another and an opportunity comes up for that job that's going to put your family in a better position or whatever, you know, going to put your situation in a better position, you may need to move fast. There may need to be a faster run to get there, and because it's highly competitive on this level, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the competition. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is. But we are not like the other classes. See, the other classes, like the poverty level, they're creatively slow. That's basically all the pace that they get. They don't do 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 do. That's all the pace that they get all day. They wake up, go find something to eat or go find something to get into, and then later on they go to sleep or whatever, or how they do it. But their life is just that. The rich, because they got a calculated run, they talk about how they're making moves, and I made a deal over here. You look at Shark Tank, it's like, yeah, that's because the deals and different things are coming at you fast, man. You got to have a calculated run. You got to have a certain speed like that right there. You know, but it's still the same kind of thing, you know, throughout the day. When you're trying to increase your market share, you know, it's the same kind of speed. Boom, boom. You're trying to get after. You're trying to get after it. You got the same speed. It's only in the middle class where sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's thoughtful, right? Very unique class. See, this is something that is not taught because they're trying to siphon out the true substance of the middle class mind. It's not just about a salary, but it's a mindset. And the quicker that you can understand the faction that you're in, the easier it is for you to understand the expectations of whatever class you're going to. You heard someone say that, you know, that millionaires or rich people, whatever, you know, if they lost all the money, you know, it will eventually come back into their hands. Why? Because they understand the expectations of that class. That's the only leverage really that they have over you other than experience. They understand the expectations of the class. So in order for you to get to that class, can we first understand the expectations of the middle class? If we're not working our plan on this level, what makes us think that we just gonna spring up, this genius is just gonna hit your brain and you're just gonna really kill it on the next level? You know, I don't care how much drop shipping you doing. You know, I don't care how much they're doing. It's like you still operating in a middle class mind, and you need to use that to your advantage, not your detriment. All right, my name is Starsky the Bear. Hey, like and share. Hey, see me down in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Help me get better. Help me stretch farther. We're talking about middle class mindset. And I may shoot another video on this if I see down in the comments that y'all like it. I may shoot down into it, but I'm always going to be talking about bringing back the value that you have and sticking to your plan. And everything that I'm saying, that's the silver lining through everything that I'm saying. So hey, see me in the comments, like and share this video, and I'll see you on the next episode. Middle Class Mind. See ya.